Chelsea Football Club are set to sign Filip Jorgensen, and Fabrizio Romano is days away from saying, here we go. However, this is 80 million euros on a position that they have spent on 4 players in the last 18 months. It's worrying. Do they have our trust? We're going to break the deal down. We're going to talk about the pros, the cons, and we're going to talk about the ramifications onto Petrovic, because there's a large section of the fan base furious that he's going to be getting forced out. There's a large section furious that he's going to be sold. I'm not on that side, and I'm going to explain to you why. And finally, Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Kieran Dewsbury Hall comes out and gives us the clearest indication, the biggest indication of the difference between Enzo Maresca and Mauricio Pochettino. This is not me throwing shade. This is just me giving his observation that reaffirms my observation. Might be confirmation bias, but all I'm going to tell you, I told you so. So what I need from you guys now, number one, I'm sorry if I'm not speaking quick enough or if I'm not speaking with the same energy. My wisdom tooth is killing me, right? It is super sore. Number two, I still deliver the content you lot desire and require. So hit that like button. We're aiming for 1,000 likes on this video. And the fact that I'm injured and I'm still talking to you lot here, come on, it's free of charge, just do it. And number three, if you like the way I present stuff, if you like the content, if you like unobjectified, honest truth from my perspective, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're en route for 50,000. Let's get started with the video. Let me give you the details. Chelsea Football Club are looking for a new goalkeeper. This was very evident from the moment we signed Robert Sanchez that we would be in this position once again. And a lot of people are going to say, no, Alex, that's not true. Well, when we made this video in the past and said, oh my God, Chelsea have signed Robert Sanchez, I said, I don't like this deal. He's Brighton's number 3. We have seen him make infinite amount of mistakes and he doesn't learn from them. I don't think this will be a good deal. Sanchez has come in, lost his spot to Petrovic. Petrovic doesn't suit Maresca's style, and we need a new goalkeeper. Who is it? It's Filip Jorgensen. He's a 22-year-old Danish goalkeeper. He's played for Sweden until under 19 level, played for Denmark until under 21 level, and now he wants to represent Denmark apparently. This player is actually very polarized. You've got people like saying he's absolutely amazing. You've got people saying he's not good enough for Chelsea. So what did I do? I went and compiled everything. But before we get into the pros and cons of the player, what has Fabrizio said? Fabrizio has said there's a 21 total million pound package deal, meaning it's 20 million euros. This is what some of the sources are saying, plus add-ons, which take the deal to 21 million pounds. This is a low-cost investment. However, when you spend 80 million euros on keepers in the last 24 months, yo, it's kind of peak. The money's adding up and it's getting to the point now where you're spending too much money on one position, meaning you're not fixing the issue and you're getting it wrong. The pros of this player. He plays out the back. Playing out the back in 2024 is almost as important as his ability to save shots, which is wild to me. However, Maresca depends on it, and it is integral that he can do it to a very good standard, and apparently, he's one of the best in the business. 99% short pass rates, good long passing, and just very brave and courageous in attempting them. The second thing, good shot stopper apparently. Very agile, very good reflexes, and gets his body. However, there's a negative that will come aligned with this shot stopping. Thirdly, and this is the best one, he's proven to battle other goalkeepers and win the jersey. He wasn't the number 1 option, he wasn't the number 2 option, he was the number 3 option. He broke into the Villarreal team and then played 28 consecutive games to the point where the fans liked him enough, where they wanted him to number 1, the manager liked him enough to want him as the number 1, and more importantly, he maintained his performances to a certain standard where Villarreal kept him. He was super busy, he had the most saves in La Liga last year. They had the 3rd worst defensive record, but when you're facing that many shots and the defense is that leaky, it makes sense. You can't really judge a goalkeeper on conceding goals unless you have the full context. However, his negatives, and these negatives were very interesting. Apparently, he's very confidence-based. So he will keep trying the passes. However, if he gets his head down, we're going to have to work on him to get him back up, because he's going to have to be an individual that comes in and feels his own ego. And I didn't understand this point when I read it, but the more I think about it, isn't that with every player? So it's a really unfair negative to point at someone. As humans, yo, if I'm not feeling myself, I'll go get a trim, right? And if I get a trim and I'm still not feeling myself, there's something wrong. So the reality is, I hope someone gives him a trim every day and he's still feeling himself and he's as confident, and if a mistake occurs, he'll go and basically try to fix it and keep moving forward. Furthermore, apparently his ability to come for crosses isn't great. He comes, he's brave, but The problem is he isn't effective or efficient. This is a worry for me. The Premier League is a league that will eat you up and chew you out the minute they find out the biggest weakness in your game. And this was happening to Raya. And the correspondent said, if this happens to Jorgensen, he doesn't believe he will cope well. He will struggle. And that's a worry for me. Because you've got teams like West Ham. You've got teams like Bournemouth. You've got teams like Brighton. They get to the byline, they cross it up into the back sticks or cut it back, and the keeper has to be ready. Either I'm coming for it or I'm staying on my line. And there's going to be a variation of the teams we play against. But most teams these days get to that byline, cut it back, or cross it, lift it into the back stick. You need a keeper to be able to come out and relieve pressure. It is integral. He's 6'3". I don't know whether he can do it. And finally, this is the biggest one. He's not very good at penalties. And the biggest one of all, he parries his shots into the danger area. I hate that. And let me explain to you. I said he's a great shot stopper, but apparently his shot stopping isn't left and wide, or right and wide, sorry, left and wide. It is more so straight back into the middle and give the guy another opportunity to shoot. Or your defenders have to be on point. And this is very, very poor. I think we need to, A, get that out of his game with coaching, and B, he needs to make a resound effort to fix this. Because you can't give teams multiple cracks to shoot at you. It causes problems, it causes disruption, and more importantly, it causes uncertainty for your defenders. But now we need to talk about something, right? All this research could be nothing. Because I've seen research where Malo Gusto is not meant to be a good player. But my eyes told me when I watched him, he was a good player. I've seen research where, Benoit Badiashile is not very good. I think he's a good player. I saw research that Disasi was meant to be amazing. Disasi doesn't look amazing to me. So what I say is, take everything you hear, whether it's from me regarding a player, whether it's from someone else, with a pinch of salt. Wait till you will see him in a Chelsea kit, and then give him a definitive judge. And don't be stubborn with your judgment. Don't have confirmation bias. Be realistic, be open, and be honest. And for me, that's all we have to do. And the sporting directors need to be careful. 80 million spent on 4 people in the same position. Broski, that is getting to the point where you can't buy goalkeepers, evidently. Because Jaja Selim, Petrovic, Sanchez, and now Jorgensen, if he doesn't work out, evidently you spent the money of Kepa Arrizabalaga that was spent on him on 4 people, and you couldn't fix the solution. That's a problem in anyone's eyes. I don't care what Clear Lake Capital want to do with their model, that is a clear problem. Fabrizio has confirmed now though, and this is the big thing, Petrovic is set to be leaving Chelsea Football Club because Jorgensen is going to be coming in. And this has struck a nerve for a lot of Chelsea fans. A lot of Chelsea fans are saying this is so mean. You can't do this to Petrovic. Petrovic is a good goalkeeper. You can't be kicking him out. And what I'm going to say is, I don't think Petrovic has ever let us down. So I don't think I've ever looked at Petrovic over a consistent period of time. Yes, he's had a mistake here and there. He's a goalkeeper. He was heavily exposed last year, and mistakes were always going to happen. It was his first year in the Premier League. But, and this is the key but, he played well. He played well enough for a deputy for number 2. He was always signed to be a deputy. He was always signed as a prospect to develop and become better over time. He was never signed to be the number 1 straight away. And the reason for that is his kicking ability. So when you spend 16 million euros on a goalkeeper, the reality is you don't expect him to be your number 1. You expect him to come in, be your deputy, and deputize for your number 1 when he's out. And that's exactly what he did. And not only did he do it, he did it to a very good standard. He did it to a phenomenal standard. Yet, when you look at the business that we could do, if we sell him for 16 or 20 million euros and we get 4 million euros profit on the net version, or based on accounting, I think we've done very good business here. Because we took a number 2, we brought him in, we gave him a platform, he performed, and we flipped him. And now we can reinvest that money into Jorgensen, and hopefully Jorgensen's the one that is going to be the number 1 long term. Yet, and this is the big issue, people want to say no, he should be our number 1. Petrovic shouldn't be getting sold. And I'm going to explain to you the biggest factor to why he can't be our number 1. Even under Maurizio Pochettino, not Enzo Maresca, because Enzo Maresca is an extremist when it comes to, oh no, your goalkeeper needs to be involved. Pochettino wanted his keeper involved. However, with Petrovic, there were so many occasions where he's like, nah, bro, I can't do this. It's too dangerous. I'm going long. And Poch gave him that power. However, there are elements where you need to be a little bit braver. You need to help the team beat a press. And Pochettino's teams were doing that. And it's really frustrating and it's very annoying. However, Poch knew the weaknesses in Petro. Enzo can see the weaknesses in Petro. And the reality is, thank you for everything you've done, Petro, but you're going to be getting moved on to another club. And guess what? He went from the MLS, he played a year in the Premier League, and he's most probably going to get a move to the top five league. So his career has really benefited for coming to Chelsea, and he's just going to develop. I don't know, in the comments below, do you think I'm being unfair? The final piece of news is regarding Kieran Dewsbury-Hall's comments on Enzo Maresca. Look, he played under him at Leicester, so there's an element of bias, right? There's an element of, oh, this guy's my guy because he gave me a lot of minutes, I performed well under him, so I'm going to be very transparent in my praise. However, this is the key. Enzo Maresca apparently made one thing different for Dewsbury-Hall and for all his teammates at Leicester. And Dewsbury-Hall was very complimentary, saying he's going to be fantastic at Chelsea. He's going to show everyone how good he is. And he was super praising. And this is the key. He said, at Chelsea, we're not going to play off the cuff. We will always, when receiving the ball, know where someone else is, and they're free, and it makes it much easier to release the ball. It's very automated basically, and that anytime you receive the ball, there's no need for individual brilliance because you already know where someone is. So any little bit of extra overplaying you do is because this is the better alternative. However, I always know a way out of any situation I'm in. This is all I asked for under Pochettino. What I did not like under Pochettino was our defensive transition protection, and more importantly, the biggest one of all, in the final third, we were very individualistic. It was give the ball to Palmer, let's see what we can do. There were no patterns of play. And under this manager, I'm hoping to see this. And the fact that Kieran Dewsbury-Hall was saying, it makes me believe that maybe we are going to get more of an automated system. Because I think in the long term, in any line of business, when there's order and when there's structure, you end up being better. And the reason you end up being better is because you know what to do even on your off day. You don't need to be on song. You don't need to be the best version of yourself. You could just be 80, 70%. But because there's a system behind you, you could get away with. However, when you have to be an individualistic person and you have to do something off the cuff and it needs to be a flip-flap, there are days you're going to get shut down. It's only normal. But those days happen on a more consistent manner because the frequency at which you're trying stuff that isn't natural to you is a lot higher. So you're going to lose the boom. But it is what it is, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And also, let me know, what do you think of Jurgen? Do you want Sanchez as the number one? Do you think Petrovic has been treated unfairly? And more importantly, are you confident Jorgensen will be our new goalkeeper for the long period? Or are we going to be back in this place in 12 months' time? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. There will be a match review tonight if the match ends at a reasonable time, and I'm saying you lot are asking for it. But peace out, I'm out. Have a lovely day. Goodbye, gazers and lasses. Bye.